Hi again, Matt Underwood once again with Phil Stephenson. And it's good news to have this many interviews during the year, Phil, this late after the school year's already ended, but a great trip, a good experience for your boys going to the JUCO World Series in Grand Junction.
A great time, absolutely. Great event, run to the best I could think it'd possibly be run by the people of Grand Junction and all the people involved with the NJCAA. Great event for our guys, great exposure for our school and our program. And just guys were treated so well, you know, not only by our sponsor, which was A&B Bank, but our host, who was the Kiwanis Club of Grand Junction. Just a fun time. You know, so many different things that we got involved in away from the games that we got to participate in, and just for I think for our guys, just a moment, you know, in their lifetimes that will be forever remembered. Not only individually but also as a group, you know, and we just had so much fun with it. I know the outcome wasn't what we wanted, you know, in going 1 and 2, and I think there were some nerves the first night, and I thought after that, you know, we really stepped up and played. We were capable of playing. I'm not going to say we pitched as well as we were capable of pitching, but we gave ourselves, you know, we were in the games. We gave ourselves opportunities. Not always did we capitalize on it, but you know, from an overall opportunity, it was just a great event to be a part of, and a great exposure situation for, you know, the school, the program, and you know, everything that they put on there was just tremendous.
Well, let's go game by game here,
Okay.
Phil. You mentioned game one, maybe some nerves, a 7-1 loss to Northwest Florida State College, a team that ended up winning it all.
Yeah,
Game one.
the guy that beat us, the Dorsey kid who beat us the first night, also won the championship game, only throwing a complete game, only giving up 1 run. So, you know, you could look back and say, okay, you know, one of your losses came to the eventual champion, but you know, Luke got out to a poor start. He didn't throw well in the mid innings. Second, third inning, we gave up. I think he gave up 5 runs, and we had an opportunity in the bottom of the second to, you know, we cut it in half, but we needed to pick up another run or two, and we had opportunity and we didn't take advantage. And then when they got the 3 spot, because, you know, we made a couple errors and misplayed 1 ball that turned into a hit, and they got the 3 spot, I kept thinking, okay, if he can just hold us, you know, we'll roll into something. We always seem to do that. And he did. I mean, until the 7th, you know, he gave us a chance. And we just never could put anything together. Even though they made a couple errors that gave us starts to innings, we just couldn't get hits behind it. And sometimes you got to tip your cap to the guy that's on the mound. And that type of guy has kind of given us fits at different points this year. Left-hander who's throwing, you know, low to mid 80s, but he's throwing 3 pitches for a strike, and he's keeping people off balance. And he did what he had to do, and we never really made an adjustment to him. And I thought when we got a couple of errors to open innings that we might be able to put, you know, another run or 2 on the board and cut into that 5-1 lead. We weren't able to, and then I think Luke just kind of ran out of gas in the 7th, and you know, our relievers, Matt Perea came in and, you know, held him at bay, but we were able to put anything together, and basically, you know, with their guy on the mound, they dominated the game and beat us 7-1, and you know, jitters were probably part of it, but I think, you know, in all, you look back at it and say, you know what, that guy pitched a game he needed to pitch and kept us off balance and did his job, and you got to tip your cap to him, and let's go to day 2.
Yeah, Dorsey, 10 strikeouts on the day, and I think we saw a similar performance from the kid from Cali in that game 1 too.
Right.
But yeah, look, on paper looks like excellent pitching. Just their staff seemed pretty deep. Just looking at the bracket, a lot of 1-run games, 0 shutouts as well for Northwest Florida.
Yeah, their first 3 games, they gave up 1 run, no runs, and 1 run. And they scored 27. You don't lose very often when that happens. Now, they did lose game 4, but then they came back and got won a game and then got to the championship game. And of course, that's where they put together another masterful performance and won the championship game 15-1. So you gotta get hot at the right time. You gotta play well. And in that ballpark, if you could swing it a little bit, the ball carries a little bit because of the lighter air, and you can't beat yourself. And they played the tournament that way, and they pitched well enough to be able to put themselves in a position to get to the championship game and took full advantage of it. And hats off to them. They were the best team in that week. And probably any of the 10 teams that was there at some point could say that. You could have that one week that you put together everything, and they did. So, congratulations to those guys. And now it's for us, it's a challenge to work to get back to that position again, have an opportunity to try to get back to Grand Junction. But all that being said, it was still a great experience.
Next day, you get your lone win of the tournament, and just seeing the box score and the score itself, Phil, what in the world happened? 23-11 victory. Bats came alive, obviously. A lot of crooked numbers. 6 runs in the second, 6 in the ninth, 4 in the fifth. What was going on that day?
Well, it was a good day to hit, number one. And number 2, I think Andrew Riddell threw for us. He didn't get off to a very good start. And I thought it was real important for us to score, being the visiting team, score in the first inning. Mm-hmm. We're 2 up, 2 down. Leno gets up, hits first pitch over the left field wall for a home run. And even though we go out and give up 3 runs, I'm like, it's okay. This is going to be a good day to hit. And I'm watching their guy throw, and he didn't look very comfortable on the mound either. Their coach commented on it after the game that their pitcher was 87-90 all year, and he never threw a pitch above 87. Well, that's nerves. That tells you right there that that's nerves. And when we came back out and put up 6 spot in the top of the second, and Andrew was able to find his bearings and kind of get some things going, we left him in there for quite a while, even though he gave up some runs, because we created such a big lead and hung on to it. Mm-hmm. And we just kept hitting. We only had 1 inning where we didn't score. And we just kept hitting. It didn't matter who they put in there. We just kept hitting the ball. And, even though they had a couple innings where they got back and they kept themselves from being run ruled, we had a chance in the 7th and 8th to end the games by the 8-run rule. And they were able to battle back and get a couple of runs in each inning to prevent that. But every time they scored, we turned around and score as well. And Josh hit the ball in the 2nd inning to cap off the 6-run inning, that he hit it off the very top of the batter's eye. It almost cleared the entire place. Wow. And when that happened, I think their coach may have beat his path to the mound quicker than Josh got around the bases to get that guy out of the game. And of course, they brought in another one of their guys that had been a starting pitcher all year, and he fared well for a little bit, and then he started having troubles. And it was just one of those days, kind of like we had when we played Labette here in the first round of the playoffs in the Region 6 tournament. Once we got on a roll, it just never stopped, and we kept it going. And Andrew gave us 6+ innings, and battled, and a couple other guys, Royer and Bowmaker, came in and finally finished it off. And the 6th and the 9th kind of skewed out the score a little bit, but it was just nice to see our guys continuing to put the bat on the ball and have that kind of game. And I think we were close to tying the record for the number of hits in a game there, and we were short, I think, by 4 or 5 runs from setting tying the record for number of runs scored in a game. So it was a good showing by our guys all the way around, up and down the lineup. Frankie had 4 hits, and Josh and Leno were back to being Josh and Leno. And I think a couple other guys.
Trammell 4
had
for
4
6.
hits, yeah.
Simmons 3 for 6. Madewell 2 for 4 with 2 walks. Just fun looking at the box score with 2 homers for Williams. Leno with that solo shot you spoke of. You got to boost the confidence of guys like that, especially your returners for next year if they can hit that well.
Well, it was just that type of day, and once we got on a roll, it was just they couldn't figure out a way to stop it, and no matter who they tried on the mound or what they tried to do, and some days are just like that. We've been through them, I know, from a pitching staff standpoint, and they scored 11 runs. You got to give them some credit offensively. Mm-hmm. They also swung the bats fairly decent, but Andrew got in a groove in the middle innings and was able to slow some things down and keep the game at bay, and we got ourselves in a position to end the thing, and we just never could quite end it in the run rule. But it gave a couple other guys an opportunity to pitch a little bit, and so we took advantage of it and got some other guys some work, and got a couple other guys in there swing the bat a little bit, and just a good day all the way around, and put us in a position we felt like pitching staff wise we were as good as we were going to be able to go into day 3 having our bullpen ready and having Russ on the mound, and be ready to attack game 3.
And Frankie Valli was 1 for 4 in game 1, 4 for 6 game 2, and then the last game 4 for 6 again. Seems like he got hot at the right time for the tournament, but falls short in kind of a back and forth game from what I heard against San Jacinto or
we just call him San Jack. That's what we call him. That's what everybody calls him. It's a San Jacinto is how it's said.
Okay.
And the north would be, because they have multiple schools down there, and it's a large junior college in the Houston area, and they've been to the World Series 20 plus times over the past 30 years. So they've been a fairly regular participant up there in Grand Junction, and we got off to a great start. We scored 2 in the first and 2 in the second, and had a 4-0 lead, and probably either another 2-out hit in either one of those innings, and we're up 6 or 8-0, and it might be a different ball game. But we didn't get them. They got out of the inning, and they brought in a guy in the second inning similar to the guy that we faced in game 1, and low to mid 80s. 3 pitches for a strike, and he got through the middle innings and really shut us down. And in the 4th, Russ just seemed to lose it. I don't know what happened. I wish I could explain it or figure it out. You kept thinking, okay, he's going to find his groove again. He's going to get back in there. He was out of the strike zone, and when he was in the strike zone, he was in the middle of the plate. And, of course, they get a hit with 2 guys on. It's 4-1. He hits it to the deepest part of the ballpark. And, of course, we chase it down and throw it back in, and they're holding him to a triple. Their coach is holding him, and the guy had his head down. He just kept running. And we had a momentary lapse of not finishing the play. And what I say by that is that you always have to be prepared to make the next play. And so when the ball came in from the outfield, and our shortstop, Colby Madewell, caught the ball flat-footed. He didn't catch it with an idea of throwing the ball. If he catches it with the idea of throwing the ball, he doesn't get caught by surprise. He makes a good throw home. The guy's out by 40 feet. But he catches it flat-footed, and when he turns to look, he sees the guy running. It's like, oh, geez. And of course, now he's got to regather himself to make a throw, and when he makes it, he throws it high, and the guy ends up with an inside-the-park home run. Ties the game at 4. Like, okay, we'll get out of that inning, come back, go to the bottom of or top of the 5th. We don't score in the 4th. Russ goes back out, and he's same deal. He just doesn't have it. And it's like, boy, and by the time we could, we got somebody ready and got him out. Matt came in, praying, he gave up a hit, made it 7-4. It's like, okay, we got to figure out a way to start battling back, a little bit here and there. And Matt did a great job of keeping things in order. We score a run in the 6th to get back 7-5. We leave a runner stranded at third base. Get a run in the 7th, and I think it was Fields' home run. And they made a pitching change, and we get a couple guys, or I think Fields' home run maybe. Yeah, it was in the 7th. He led off the 7th with it. They made a pitching change, and You know, we got another guy over to third base, couldn't get a 2-out hit to tie the game. I give up a run in the eighth. Matt gives up a run in the eighth. It's 8-6, and we get another run back in the seventh, and we got first and third and 2 outs. And they had changed and brought in the first right-handed pitcher they'd used of the day to start the 8th inning. And Fields is up, and he's 4 for 4 today. He's got 2 home runs, a double, and a single. And he hits a ball after a check swing that he fouled one off. He hits a ball that's 3 feet inside the third base line. And their third baseman, it was a guy that they had brought in the second inning. They'd made a couple of changes in their lineup in the second inning. That's how early they had done it. And he goes over, and it's do or die. It's either in his glove or it's down the line for a base hit for a double. And we're either going to tie the game or we're going to score the go-ahead run from first base, depending on how the ball gets played in the outfield. And that guy basically puts his glove in one spot, and the ball hopped right in it. And he stopped, saw he had it, turned, made a good throw because Fields isn't a very good runner, you know, and gets out of the inning, and it's 8-7. I'm like, oh boy, you know, if that ball just stays down, takes a bigger hop, anything other than just right to where his glove was. And you got to give the guy credit for making a really tremendous play. But that may have changed the whole outcome of the ball game. But, you know, plays like that happen in baseball. And the guy made the play and got out of the inning. And Matt, they were solving Matt. We brought in, you know, we'd given up a run. Bases, they had second and third, and we brought the infield in. And we walked the guy down. He came in and walked the guy, and then he got a ground ball. We got the force out at the plate, and then he got another ground ball to get out of the inning. So it's 9-7. And
at that point, are you thinking Downing for the next game if you win?
We'll get to game 4 at that point. We're not going to worry about game 4 until we can figure it out. But we felt like we had to somehow stop and give ourselves a chance to win game 3. And he was the guy we felt was going to have to do that, and he did. And so we start the next inning, and we don't start out very well. Simmons gets called out on strikes. Madewell walks. And then, you know, Johnny hits another ball right on the nose, right at somebody. I'll bet he had 5 or 6 balls he hit during those 3 games. It just 2 were caught by third baseman. You know, he hit one to the wall in right center. He had 3 other line drives that I know right at people that he hit just right on the nose. Of course, he does that again. And so we have 2 outs. Frankie's at the plate. And of course, Frankie's 4 for 5 on the day. So you think if we can just get Leno and or Josh to the plate, you know, I think we got a chance to win this thing. But Frankie ended up grounding out, and that pretty much ended our season at that point. But, you know, I think we left 13 guys on base in that game, and it just wasn't meant to be, you know. I thought overall, you know, the way we pitched during the year, and I think the ballpark has a little something to do with that. We didn't pitch as well as I thought we were capable of consistently. We had a lot of good innings. We just weren't as consistent as I wanted to see with it. And, of course, the first night we didn't play very good defense and we didn't hit anything. So after that, you know, I thought we gave a really good showing of ourselves. I thought we represented our league and our district real well. And it just wasn't in the cards for us to advance on. And, you know, Sanjak wins the game 9-7. And for a team that's been there as many times as they've been there, I think they were a little bit scared of what might happen. You know, if we could have got one hit in those particular times in the 6th, 7th, or 8th, to have gotten that run home from third and eventually have tied the game in those points. And, you know, just wasn't meant to be. But I'm so proud of our guys. You know, as a whole, of course, a lot of guys individually, but as a whole, this team was really together. You know, they enjoyed each other's company. They worked hard together. They reaped the benefits of it. And when you get to this point and you get that opportunity to go to the World Series and do the things that we did throughout the year and all the different new team records we set and some individual records as well, you know, it's tough to see it end, but you can't, you know, end it on a sad note no matter how you look at it. You know, there's only one team that's going to win their final game. It's going to win it all, and it turned out to be Northwest Florida. But for us, like I told the guys, I said, don't hang your heads, don't be upset. You've done something nobody expected. We're picked 7th in our division by the coaches. That tells you how little thought that people thought of our ability and everything that went with that. And I just can't say enough about our guys, the coaching staff, the time and effort and things that went in, and the support we had from different people throughout the community and here at the school. I just told the guys, I said, you got to walk out of here happy. Even though it's a loss, you got to walk out of here happy, because you achieved the maximum potential that was available on this team, and we did that. And that's what you want out of every team when you put them together. You want them to achieve their maximum potential, and I feel like this group really did that.
Well, it seemed like from my interaction from some of the guys that I had with on your team, a lot of confidence, a lot of that feel of let's prove them wrong. And I saw in the dugout this year that was billboard material for you, where you guys were placed in preseason. And this team I don't want to say overachieved, but they proved their doubters wrong this year.
Yeah, and that's, we kind of took that as a little bit of an incentive to try to prove people wrong. And I don't, I'm not big on mottos or, slogans or anything like that, but I'm not sure we knew what we had either, because, it was a rough fall for us. We weren't together as a team. We didn't play well in the fall. We had a lot of distractions, had to make some changes, so we made some changes. We brought some new people in at the break. You never know how that's going to work, but fortunately, all those guys we brought in at the break were quick to buy in to what we were trying to do. And I think as we played, like I've mentioned before, we played Seward and Colby in our first 4 league games, who were picked in the top 4. Seward picked a win, who ended up winning the division. And Colby was picked either 2nd or 3rd, I can't remember which. And we came out of that 5-3, and I'm like, we've got 4 good starters. Let's find a way to start, working behind that and trying to find a set lineup and how we're going to play and how our guys are going to hit and everything. And we go to Cloud, and we take 3 of 4, and we should have won all 4 games. And we're starting to make a move up, and each weekend, I thought we always played well enough to win the series. And as we continued on, I think that the confidence you're talking about, or belief in everybody involved, began to take shape. And I think that was the biggest thing, is that guys began to believe in each other. It felt like every time they stepped on the field, they had a chance to win a game. And I think in past years, there's been times we didn't feel that way. But I think they felt like we were going to get a good outing on the mound, and if by chance some guys struggled, then we're gonna find a way to score some runs to help them out. And we just kept plugging away, and you go through a season, you don't lose a series, or you do a split. We kept trying to find a way to get to the top. We never quite could get to the top, and Seward got everybody healthy. They'd been missing some guys through the year, and then their last 4 weeks of the regular season, they played really well, and they got enough wins to end up taking the title.
1 win,
and,
enough, yeah.
Yeah, one more than us, and that was enough. But I don't think it deterred us from what we felt like we were capable of doing. And we knew the east side could swing it a little bit, and Labette proved that when they came in here. But it was a great day to hit, and I think that as we went along, and our guys go, okay. We just kept scoring. They never could stop us, and we end up with a doubleheader victory and move on to Wichita. And we didn't play well in game 1, but we pitched well enough to beat Neosho. And then I thought we played well against Butler. We played well against Fort Scott. I didn't think we played bad against the first game with Cali when they beat us. We just got outpitched. I mean, you lose a game 4-3, you can't really complain too much about that. We had some opportunities.
Don't even have your number 1 on the hill then.
And the next day I was like, Luke throws the way he's been throwing, which he did. We're going to win this game. And we put up enough runs early in the ball game. The 3rd inning was our big inning during that whole tournament, and we put them up. And Luke was masterful, and it gave us that opportunity to go to the World Series. And I'm not sure that we've pitched the way there, like I said, the way I thought we were capable of pitching. But the bottom line is that we didn't embarrass ourselves. We didn't get blown out anywhere. We didn't look like we didn't belong or anything of that nature. I thought we were a great representative for our district and our league and our school and everything that came with that. Our guys were treated so well, and I think they responded back to that as well. And not only how they were, and I think we picked up a lot of fans while we were there. A lot of people that locally were following us and keeping up with us, and a lot of guys I know kept getting asked for autographs and different things like that. So all that was really neat, and I think our guys really soaked it in and really enjoyed the moment that came with it. From
what I saw on Facebook too, Phil, a lot of extracurricular activities for the team as well.
We got there on a Wednesday evening. On Thursday, we had a luncheon with our host, which was the Kiwanis Club. They had a huge crowd there for that luncheon, and the guys got up and got to introduce themselves, and I gave them the opportunity to share something about themselves, but as sometimes young men are, they're a little bit shy when they're out of their element, and not all of them did that. A few of them did, but I thought that our guys handled that real well, and then of course we after that we ran off to have a quick practice for about an hour, and then that night we participated in what's called a Challenger baseball game. And they called me because we were one of the first teams to qualify. I got a call from a lady named Karma Brown, who's being honored by Major League Baseball concerning this. And what it is the Challenger baseball is for kids to have the opportunity to play baseball who are physically handicapped, special needs, Down syndrome, autism, maybe they've got some sort of physical disability. They've had blind children there before, and it's from ages 8 to 18 that these kids participate in this, and they have a buddy system. So what it was is they have 8 teams of about 9 or 10 kids on each team in that area that participate in this league, and their final weekend or final regular season game is coincided with the JUCO World Series, and there are teams that come out, and I believe it was us, Walter State was there from Tennessee, San Jac was there from Texas, and I'm drawing a blank as to it may have been McClellan, who was also there that was involved. There were 4 teams involved. So we were at a field, very similar to like what for Dodge City people, what Legends is like.
Yeah.
And we had our guys divided up, and they each were with a team, and guys, the participants, the kids, each had buddies, whether it be 1 or 2 of our guys with them to help them, with fielding, help them with throwing, help them with pitching, help them with hitting, all that stuff. And the kids did it themselves, but our guys were there to kind of, just remind them to run and, go get the ball and throw. And I thought our guys really, really got involved in the moment. And I think that it also gives you a sense of understanding how privileged you are to play the game, and how blessed you are to be gifted with this opportunity. And we had tons of pictures taken, and I think the kids that we were involved with on the field that we were on, I thought our guys they were totally involved with the kids and doing stuff with them, and the kids just seemed to have the best time in the world. And sometimes I thought our guys were having the best time in the world as well, and it was a really great event. And I wouldn't have traded that for anything. If we ever get an opportunity to go back, I would certainly do that again, without a doubt.
Wow.
Because I think our guys really took to the kids and got involved with them and talked to them and did things with them. Sometimes the kids weren't even involved. They were involved in the game, but our guys were out in the outfield playing catch with them and doing stuff. They weren't even paying attention to what was going on in the game. They were, some of them were out there in the outfield just playing catch with them and doing different things like that. And I know Josh had one girl that he was with that he got some special handshake thing going, and like I said, all of our guys had something different that they connected with those kids and did stuff with them, and it was really a really neat event for us. And Friday we of course did team pictures. That took about an hour, and then we grabbed some lunch and went to practice, and then that night they had the banquet for all the teams that were involved, and it was a neat event. They had a Hall of Fame induction as well for people involved into being elected into the Hall of Fame, the Junior College Hall of Fame, and it was a really neat event to do that. And they had a guest speaker. And his name's escaping me right now, but he was a young man who went to Arizona State, and in his first college game slid into second base, and throw was offline. Second baseman trying to make a play, his knee hit the kid in the head and did some spinal damage to him that has made him wheelchair bound. And now he's a scout he graduated on time with his class at Arizona State and is now a scout for the Diamondbacks.
Wow.
The Diamondbacks actually drafted him as well when his draft class came up, and then they've got him as a scout now. So he was our guest speaker, and we got to all those things that came through, and all of them were awesome, and events like, now we can play, it's type deal. And we still had, since we were playing the feature game that night, we had a luncheon with our sponsor and our host, the Kiwanis Club and A&B Bank, and went out for lunch that day at a picnic, and all the families were invited, friends were there to watch everything. We had a lot of people that were following us that came to the picnic, and we had a great time with that. And like I said, then it was finally time to play, and of course the weather's been kind of funny throughout the month of May, and it was out there as well. Normal temperatures out there are around 80 to 90 degrees, and they were suffering through 60s and 70s and a lot of rain. And it turned out that night, I think game time temperature was around 59 degrees, and it was kind of misty, and they were expecting a crowd on the first night of about 10,000 people, and I think it ended up being about 4, which was kind of disappointing. But the next day we played in front of 7,000. The next day we played in front of 4 or 5, and
you guys hadn't seen a crowd like that all year, have
No,
you?
absolutely not. 500 people, probably the tops at the final game with Cali. And I thought our guys embraced it really well. And I can only imagine, like for myself, having played in a College World Series, I was fortunate enough to be, after my freshman year, as the beginning of my sophomore year, to play on a college USA college team representing the USA in what was called then the Intercontinental Cup. And we went to Havana, Cuba. And it was the first time a USA team had been in Cuba since the early 1960s.
Yeah.
Terry Francona was on that team, was now the manager of the
Cleveland
Indians, had been with the Red Sox, and his father was a Cuban national who had defected to the United States to play Major League Baseball. And of course, so we were well followed, and the first time we played Cuba, which I think was our 3rd or 4th game of the series down there, they estimated the crowd of being 55,000 people. Now, here's a bunch of 18, 19, 20-year-old, 21-year-old guys from the United States, first time in a communist country. I'm standing in left field, and I'm just starstruck. I'm like,
Wow.
So I can only imagine for some of our guys, kind of what that was like when they look around and see all those people and see the type stadium it is, and of course the event and everything else. But I thought our guys handled it well, and we, for the most part, played as well. As I wouldn't say as well as I thought we could play, but I think we gave a great representation of ourselves.
Yeah, great exposure for Dodge City Community College, for your program, and for your kids too. I mean, if they're looking to go to the next level, I'm sure there are plenty of scouts there too. And you lose a handful of sophomores now, Coach, and let's talk about them a little bit, what they've meant to you, and maybe where they're looking to go, or which ones are going to play on the next level.
Well, I'll kind of try to go through the lineup. Luke Crabb has already signed with Virginia Commonwealth. who, maybe people know VCU from basketball a little bit more, but have a really good baseball program. They were in the regionals this year. I know they won their first round game at Dallas Baptist, who was the #1 seed there, and did well. So he's headed there. Russ Mithlow is headed to Cameron University down in Oklahoma. He's going to be pitching there. It's close to his home in Anadarko.
They D2, is that right?
I think they're NAIA.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. Andrew Riddell is still undecided. He's got multiple offers at this point to where he wants to go. He's not sure yet really what he wants to do right now. Some of our other sophomore pitchers are still undecided, which is Austin Hammer and Anthony Bowmaker and Adam Rutz are still undecided. They're kind of weighing some different offers from different people, and they've got to figure out what they want to do and where they want to go. And they didn't get near as many innings as our top 3 guys did, and so sometimes it's a little tougher to try to find the places or whatever. And I think a lot of it for our guys is they got to also look at what they want to get their degree in, and they need to look at a school that offers that type program and understand that that's where they need to look to go. I mean, those are, and that may limit your choices to some degree, but in the long run, that's going to be the best for your future. And that's what we talk to our guys about, trying to look at those things. If you go through the lineup, Leno Ramirez led our team in home runs and RBIs, and was probably our most I know has I think made a pretty good commitment that he's going to go to Central Oklahoma, which is a D2 school. Huh? Yeah, and he's married with a child, and they have some accommodating type housing down there. Would be good for that. Now, as I say that, he gets a call from Tennessee 2 days ago.
Wow.
So you never know what that could convert to, but. Here's a kid from a small town in Oklahoma that not many people were chasing after in Dover, Oklahoma. And, we convinced him to come here, and he ends up, putting together 2 really solid years, and, now has created options for him and also, possibly for the future of his family as well. So, those are things he has to look at also.
Well, when you look at his numbers, 12 homers, leads the team, 72 RBIs, which next person is, I think, Frankie Valli with 38 and Williams with 38. That's a huge.
Yeah, and part of that has to do with, you got to remember there's 2 guys that got on in front of him a lot. So, Johnny hit 410 on the year, and I haven't even done the final game stats yet. I haven't even put them in the computer. I think you may have the national stuff there, but I haven't had a chance to finish it here just with us. And but. You mentioned, and just a great year for Leno. He really put together a solid year, and unfortunately he wasn't picked first team, so he's not going to get a chance to. There were other third basemen that got elected ahead of him, which I was kind of disappointed. I didn't think that was the case, but our division coaches did, and of course the Binge kid from Cali. Hit 529 until he saw the conchs.
Yep, shut him out.
And didn't have a hit against us, but so he was our region representative at third base. So, but Josh Williams has already signed to go to Arkansas Pine Bluff, and so it's going to be a good fit for him. And he had a workout Saturday, a pre-draft workout at Kauffman Stadium with the Royals.
Wow.
That went really well for him, really did. So, obviously some things he did in Grand Junction got him another look.
Now, would that be for later down the road after he's done at Pine Bluff?
It could be.
Could be now?
Could be now.
Wow.
It's a possibility for now. Junior college players are eligible to be drafted in the draft next week.
He was just fun to watch in that DH spot. I know you kind of, it was more platoon with him and Nichols, depending on lefty-righty.
I probably should have went ahead and played Josh in game 1. Maybe he could have put a jolt into a ball somewhere.
His power numbers.
I'd felt that I didn't want to deviate from what we had done most of the year with that, and of course with Dorsey being a left-hander, I thought, in a short porch and right and left field, Nichols can get out on one, and it just didn't happen. And I look back on it, maybe I should have given Josh that opportunity, but that's here or there. worry about it, move forward. And Nichols had a good year for us, and we expect him to come back and be a big contributor next year. And so it's sometimes you roll the dice, it doesn't work. It happens that way. But you go around. Jordan Doan's still undecided on what he wants to do,
and he'll be here for the
he's
summer.
playing here this summer with the Dodge City A's, as is Leno and B.J. Tiemann, who's also undecided on what he wants to do. Hayden Simmons has got a couple of offers from Division III schools and still contemplating them on what he wants to do as well. And the last guy that played quite a bit was Jordan Fields. And I know he's got an offer from Arkansas Pine Bluff, and Cameron University wants him. And, I think he's had a couple of other schools that have called him. And so he's kind of trying to make a decision on what he wants to do at this point. And, from the fall, none of these guys really got much of a look. And so now, with the way the team and the season turned out, that's all changed for them, and that's good. I mean, we want to see that. And and of course we have Merle Trueblood's another guy. It's a sophomore that transferred in at the break, and he's got an interest from a school in California, so he may end up back in California again, where he's from, and have that opportunity. But am I leaving anybody out that you can think of right now as I run through the list and try to consider who's there?
B.J. Tiemann and Brock Hoffman. I know they didn't play a tremendous amount, but and B.J. will be back here for the summer. We know that.
B.J.'s playing here this summer, and he'll have a chance to go somewhere and play because he's a valuable commodity to a team, and that he can. He wants to be a part. He wants to participate. And he wants to be a part, and he's a guy that works hard every day and does all the things you ask him to do. And he didn't get many opportunities, but he got one in the College World Series or the JUCO World Series, and got a sac fly to drive in our last run in Game 2. And I think it got more thrills than anything else we did that day. It seemed like it got the fans all excited, and I know our team was excited for him. And that's a kid I'm going to miss tremendously because he's been here 3 years and hasn't had many opportunities, but he's never been down. He's never pouted. He's never, he comes to do his job every day, day in and day out. And if everybody was like that, life would be pretty good, And and the majority of the kids are most days. But, it's tough for a guy who's not getting to play every day to have a positive attitude and show up every day and do all the things that's asked of him to do. And he's done that for 3 years and really going to miss having him around.
Yeah. And looking ahead to next year, you lose your top 3 starting pitchers, Crabb, Mythlow, and Riddell. But you got a lot of returners on the pitching staff. You got 3 out of the 4 infielders. You get one of the outfielders back. What's next year look like? Who are going to be the key contributors for next year?
Well, I think first off, you got to look at the top of our order. We returned both Johnny Balsamo in center field and Frankie Valli at second base, and those 2 guys had really good years for us. So you got to hope that that's going to continue, and those 2 guys can come back and repeat what they've done before, or even be better because they're a year older. Ricky Trammell returns at first base. He kind of solidified himself as our everyday first baseman about halfway through the year. And, surprisingly, he had a few extra base hits. He's not a guy that's a big power guy, but he's pretty solid defensively. And we got to continue to help him get a little bigger and a little stronger and try to expand his game a little bit. And being a switch hitter, that helps him as well. And so, he's a guy that we're going to expect to come back and be able to contribute greatly for us. Colby Madewell, our shortstop, had a really good year, tremendously, I thought, defensively. He made a few mistakes here and there, but most young guys do.
Yep.
And he had some struggles with the bat. He was hitting in the 2-hole first 20, 25 games or so, and then we was really struggling, moved him down to the 7, 8, 9 spot, and he seemed to kind of find his niche there and got his average back up into the 270s, 280s, and had a respectable year offensively. And we expect him to be able to come back and not only give us solid defense, but also be able to contribute more offensively. And then Tim Wakefield was our platoon catcher as a freshman, kid from Sydney, Australia, and he's playing this summer in Hutchinson. And want to see him continue. Same deal. He's got to get a little bigger and a little stronger. Got to become more proficient as a hitter. He's got to become better swinging the bat. And but we expect him to come in and be the guy to lead our pitching staff. It's going to be a very young pitching staff next year, and get those guys established. And we don't return a lot of guys that have experience. Matthew Perea and Lane Downing were the two guys. Lane was our one of our weekend starters, and Matt was our first guy out of the bullpen. And both those guys logged significant innings and did well. And then Corey Rohr is a guy we brought into break that kind of helps solidify our bullpen a little bit. And he'll return, and he'll probably be a guy that'll challenge for one of our weekend starter spots as well. He'll be a third-year college student, so we really need him to step up and mature and become one of our main guys for us. And then we've got a lot of freshmen we're bringing in, especially on the mound, and so we're gonna be young and dumb early, and we're gonna have to figure out how to help those guys, progress and learn the game, and learn they can't just throw fastballs down the middle and expect that they're going to get outs, because that doesn't happen at this level. Yeah. And that's what the fall's for, is teaching guys and working with them and doing all that stuff. And we're going to be young on the mound. We've still got 2 or 3 guys to sign yet that we've got open scholarships for, and we need to get a couple more pitchers in here, I think, and probably another hitter. And we like the guys that we're bringing in, the guys that we've signed so far, and we think they're going to be solid players for us. You never know till you get them here, but they've all had good high school seasons and have played in competitive places in high school, and so we're looking forward to getting them here, and when August comes around, getting everything started up again. And it'll be a little different, because now instead of being the hunter, we will be the huntee. We will have the target on our back, and everybody's going to be after us. And so, we need to rise up to the occasion and be prepared for that when the spring season starts. And, everybody puts a lot of stock sometimes in the fall, and, I see the fall as more of a teaching, learning, not so much about wins and losses or any of that type stuff.
As we learned this year.
Yeah, but trying to just figure out what you've got, and how these guys are going to be, and you get guys to buy in, as we saw here in the spring, and you pitch and play defense, and you got a few guys that can swing it, and you're consistent with it, you can be a pretty competitive ball club. And we found out this year that was certainly the case. And you try to establish that every year, but sometimes it doesn't always work. And it's exciting that we had this opportunity and we were able to take advantage of it, and the guys made the most of their abilities. And now it's time to regroup and retool and enjoy the moment till day one of fall practice, and then we're back at it with a whole new group and trying to figure out a way to put it all together to make another run in 2016.
Yeah, if you put the pieces together right, like the Conks did this year, might end up with a shirt like Phil has. Repping his JUCO World Series shirt here today.
Pretty proud to wear that shirt today. How about that?
First time since 1958, a 42-20 season, a record-breaking season for the Conks, and hope to build on that for next year as well. And Phil, before we leave, I want to give you the opportunity to talk a little bit about Dodge City A's baseball this summer.
Well, we actually started May 31st, Sunday night, last night. Got off to a couple of wins, played the Hutchinson Monarchs, who were out of the Walter Johnson League in that area, and I think we won 5-2 and 7-4 last night. And we've got 23 guys currently here. In fact, if this gets aired by chance today, Andrew Riddell, one of our guys from here at the college, will start the game tonight against the Bethany Bulls, who are also in the Jayhawk League, but they're non-league games tonight and tomorrow night. But we've got a 42 or 43 game schedule, 36 league games. The Jayhawk League has kind of changed a little bit. We've added 2 teams, a team from Hayesville, Kansas, and a team from Bethany, Oklahoma. And we divided into division. Our division is the Hayes Larks, Liberal BJs, El Dorado Broncos, as I run through 3 of the consistent performers in the NBC tournament, and the Dodge City A's. So we'll have our work cut out for us in our own division. The other division is the Derby Twins, Wellington Heat, the Bethany Bulls, and the Hayesville Aviators. And it's going to be a competitive summer. We've got, you'll see me in the stands a lot. I'm not coaching this summer. I'm taking that summer off of dealing with that, but I am still actively involved with the program. And we've got kids from all over the country here. that are going to be playing here this summer. I think 23 of our 28 are here right now, and we'll have a few more arriving. We had 2 or 3 with Pepperdine, who was playing in a regional. I believe they were in a regional final today, if I'm not mistaken, out in California. So we've still got some guys to come in and finish out the roster. But, you know, if you enjoy baseball, we had a huge crowd last night for our doubleheader.
Really?
We had both lines were filled up, down the right field line with cars, down the left field line with people sitting under the pavilion, and the stands were about half full. And you know, if you enjoy baseball, and it's nice to come out 7 o'clock most every night that we play when we're at home. I don't think we have but one more doubleheader scheduled during the year, and we'll you know, try to entertain the fans and opportunity to come out. And you never know what type of guy might appear in a Dodge City A's uniform. 2 years ago, we had a kid named Tim Anderson from East Central Mississippi Junior College, who ended up being the 17th pick of the first round the next year by the Chicago White Sox. So, you know, it's an opportunity to come out and see good baseball, meet some new kids, and just enjoy your summer at the ballpark a little bit, you know. And even if you're just a casual fan, to walk out once in a while, and no charge to get in the games, just come out and enjoy some baseball, maybe talk to some people. We're always looking for new host families and people to get involved with sponsorships and different things to make it work, because it takes a lot of people and a lot of effort within the community to pull all this off. And we've got some quality board members who have helped continue to put all this together, and it's our 9th year here in Dodge City. We're just trying to get bigger and better and keep things going and continue to add to what is a good quality of life here in the Dodge City area.
What's admission for Dodge City A's baseball?
Nothing. There's no charge. It's free to come in. We just ask that maybe you spend a little money at the concession stand, or buy some 50-50 tickets, or you know, or if you want to be you want to make a donation just to be a sponsor, we'll look for that as well. But the biggest thing is we want people to come out and see the games, get involved with the players a little bit. Of course, you know, we run the Dodge City A's camps in conjunction with Dodge City Sports.
That's right.
The first one's actually going on today, here on Monday, June 1st. We've got 10 of those throughout the month of June, and those are free as well for young people to come out, meet ace players, learn the game of baseball. We want softball kids out there too. We've got some softball girls. My daughter, a former player here at the college, is out there, and there are other girls out there as well to work with softball players, and all those camps are free. You can go to the Dodge City A's website, dodgecitya's.com, and get information as to when those camps are held. They're 9 to 12. I know we have one again this week, Tuesday, another one on Friday, June 5th. And it's just fun to get out there, and you know, get to learn some things more about the game for the young kids, and meet some of the players, and maybe make a friend. Who knows?
That's the thing. Just goes to show from what Phil's talked about, what you guys did at the World Series, what you're doing with camps here, Dodge City A's, Dodge City Conchs, not just here to play baseball, they're here to get involved in the community, and that's good to see.
It is, and I think it's important, like you said, no matter who it is, whether it's our players here on campus, involved with the school, and the things that we get involved in, different stuff that we do throughout the year, but also our summer program as well. And we make sure the players are involved and they're out in the community and being seen. And we're also on the radio this year. All of our home league games will be on the radio this year on 93.9. So people can follow us that way as well. Of course, we have the iScore as always. People can keep up with that way. And so it's, you know, we like to see baseball continue to grow in this community, and I think the A's are a big part of that, and I think the Conchs are a big part of that, and all the way down into the high school and below levels, different people involved. And of course, I'm involved in softball as well with 3 daughters, so you know, it's a lot of activities going on, a lot of opportunities for young people to get involved in different things, and just come out, and whether they're watching games or they go to the camps, you know, or they just want to, maybe they just want to meet a player or something, just to show up at a camp, meet a player, come to a game and do that. You know, we want to get people out and get them involved, and you know, just having some fun with it more than anything else.
DodgeCityA's.com, no apostrophe on the A's. If you want to take a look at the roster, schedule, results, anything like that, and 4 conquistadors on the roster now.
Right now, that's
for
correct.
The A's.
Yes.
So, and also, Phil, who do you contact if there's someone interested in being a host family for the A's or a sponsor?
Well, what they would need to do is just contact the Dodge City A's office and make a contact there. The number's 225-0238, 225-0238. That's Curb's law office, and they can connect you to the person that's involved. Laura Mead is our host coordinator, family coordinator. She handles that for us as one of our board members. And but you can go through the A's office and get information on that. And we're still looking for one or two because we still have some guys to arrive here yet at this point. And as always, we're always looking for sponsorship. So if somebody wants to be involved, then they can find out the levels and different things with that as well.
And speaking of sponsors and Glenn Curb's law office, want to thank them for their sponsorship of our broadcast from Grand Junction and the Region 6 tournament. Also Under Landscape and Tree Service, one of our sponsors for the JUCO World Series, and of course Dodge City Community College Athletic Department. So Phil Stephenson, head coach of the Dodge City Conchs, coming off their JUCO World Series trip, 42-20 season, and also general manager of the Dodge City A's. Congratulations again, Phil, and looking forward to next year.
Thank you, Matt, and hopefully we can find a way to do all this again a year from now. It'd be awesome. And but we got a lot of work and a lot of young people to teach and get going. But you know, as you've probably noticed, I've been smiling a lot. It's a pretty good feeling to have this opportunity that we had and be able to make the run that we made. And like I said, we'll enjoy it throughout the summer, but once the first day of school starts in August, it's time to put all that behind us, and we got to start working towards a new goal.
Been a dream season, and hopefully we can continue the momentum into the fall and the spring. For Phil Stephenson, head baseball coach at Dodge City Community College, I'm Matt Unruh. Thanks again for watching. Okay.
Wow. I talked a lot.
Sorry, you know.